Hooray for Hollywood! Hello there, Stan the Movie Man here with your WIMZ.com movie review. This week you voted for me to see Killing Them Softly, starring Brad Pitt, James Gandolfini, Richard Jenkins, and more. It is the story of some slimy mob folks. There is a illegal card game. Actually, there are several illegal card games, high-dollar poker games going on around the city. One of them gets busted. It is run by Marky Trapman, who's played by Ray Liotta. Two guys, Frankie and Russell, played by Scoot McNairy and Ben Mendelsohn, rob this one poker game, specifically because Marky Trapman runs it. You see, some years earlier, Marky hired two guys to rob another poker game that he was running. And they thought, the mob who gets a cut of the money thought that it was just some guys. But sometime later, in a drunken state, he admitted that he had done it, and the mob bosses gave him a pass. Well, a fella named Johnny Amato, played by Vincent Curatella, is involved in a way in organized crime, and he decides to hire the Frankie and Russell guys to hit Marky's current game, thinking that everybody will think Marky did it. After the robbery goes down and it's successful and it nets $100,000 or so dollars, a fixer is brought in, Jackie, played by Brad Pitt. He's a hitman. And the mob has decided that somebody's got to pay. Now, even though the mob knows Marky isn't involved in this robbery, eventually people who aren't in the know are going to think Marky did it, and then everybody's going to start robbing games. So there are plans for Marky, and Russell, who is a heroin addict, is talking to some guys and indirectly mentions the robbery and how much money it was, and that gets back to the powers that be, and they know who's involved, and the rest of the story is about the search and the eventual taking care of, or attempts to take care of, the guys actually involved with the robbery. This is an odd little movie. It's an art film that is a crime story. It is told in a kind of jarring way. It's very, I suppose, honest. The foul language is immense in the film. It comprises probably half the script. And there's a great deal of violence in the film, as you might expect. And the style of the film is kind of artsy. It's, you know, scenes of people driving with folky kind of music, or you know, just some odd musical choices. At one time, he uses Johnny Cash, an old Johnny Cash song, as an underbed of the scene, and of course, nobody in this film is terribly likable. They are either just scummy hoods, or they're manic depressive hitmen, or they're a guy in a suit who represents the bosses, who is wishy-washy about what should be done, because the bosses are wishy-washy about what should be done. It's a weird film, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. The film has a very abrupt ending, where you feel like more could happen, but it doesn't. And it just leaves you with a bunch of questions. And, you know, I've often said no film has to answer every question. Sometimes it's best if it's up to you to figure it out on your own. But this film doesn't give you nearly enough information to start answering the questions you may have. It's brutal and violent and ugly and while I was interested and fascinated with the characters and what was going to happen next, I can't say I enjoyed it very much. It's not like a fun crime caper movie. It is definitely gritty and dirty and grimy and oily and sleazy, and it's kind of a hard pill to swallow. And I really don't know how to rate it. I'm just going to have to come up with something off the top of my head. I'm going to give it, it's a good effort, and it is interesting. 4 guitars. I'm torn about that one. I could change my mind any second now. But I'm giving it 4 guitars right now. It's a great effort. The performances are very good. But it isn't a film that I think I would ever want to see again. Go to WIMZ.com to read my complete review if I can figure out something to write down, as well as vote on the next movie that I go see and review, which hopefully isn't nearly as difficult to figure out as Killing Them Softly is. If you have any questions, feel free to send them to me at stanthemovieman@att.net, and you can also follow me on Twitter at MovieManStan. Till next time, I'm confused. Later, Tater.